Okay, if you're anything like me, when you hear anything about the law of attraction, you're kind of like, all right, man. Woo woo. But there is truth to it. If you've ever looked into it, you know there's some truth to it. It's all about just making things simple and believing that good things can happen. That is basically the gist of it. And there's many, many people, successful people, that can attest to its effectiveness. And I think the best way to actually talk about it in a way that is helpful to other people is to give examples of what happens when you implement it. And then you can kind of talk about how you did it, but it ends up just sounding like really simple advice. Like, do the things you know you should do and stop doing the things you know you shouldn't do. But here's an example of what happens when you actually start doing that. So as you can see, I'm in this absolutely beautiful place. And this is a place that's part of a reserve in an area that I live. And I've lived here for almost 3 years now. And I used to drive across a bridge about a mile that way. And it's like up above, it's like on the tree line over the river. It's just incredible. And I've driven over that thing 100 times, 200 times, many a time. And I look around every time and I'm like, this place is beautiful. Wow. Wow, it's amazing. And then I just drive home and I'd turn on my Xbox and I'd rip some Apex, and then I'd stay up till 3 a.m. and then I'd wake up at noon and I would continue to do the bare minimum and be frustrated the whole time, understandably. And it wasn't like I was unaware of what was happening, but I couldn't stop doing it. I couldn't get the traction. Little by little it was happening, but it just felt like I was starting from zero every morning. Fast forward a year later, I started doing all the things I know I should do. I stopped doing the things I know that I shouldn't do, quit my vices, etc., etc. And that has led to me starting this channel where I talk about that sort of thing, about starting how to get traction, how to implement the things that you know, how to become the person that you know that you can be if you just do it. And I'm making these videos, like the first one I did in my basement, and it was great. And then I was like, I should really go outside. I want to be outside anyway. I should do it. So I did it. Okay, so I drive over here in this parking lot, and then I walk up, and there's this bridge, and it's glowing. So I go down the bridge, and I look over this bridge, and it is just the most beautiful view. It's incredible. The river is massive. The light is coming over the trees. It's foggy, and I'm just standing there like, this has been here for 3 years. This did not exist until right now, because I had never come down here to enjoy it. And that wouldn't have happened if I didn't get a little bit of traction and implement the core of what the law of attraction is, which is you just believe good things can happen. I would have never started this channel if I didn't have a pretty solid belief that good things can happen out of doing it. And that is just something that I'm innately interested in doing, and always have been, but I just made it complicated. So that's one example, creating videos, taking a walk in the woods, but that's still a little bit abstract. So what's another example? Another example would be the job that I currently have. So I am currently a remote worker, so I can work from anywhere in the world, but I didn't always have this job. So for, I would say, about 2 years, I was doing this. I was door dashing, Instacarting to make ends meet, freelance work here and there in the marketing world, but I wasn't really applying myself. And I knew I wasn't, and I was fine with it. It was a choice that I made, but it also felt like something I was stuck doing for some reason. It just felt like I was carrying this baggage of sludge. It was just like my old self was pulling me back, like the lesser version of myself was pulling me down the wrong road. And I knew it was happening, but it really felt like I couldn't do anything to overcome it. It was 2 years of me wanting the job. It was 6 months of me preparing and learning things, by the way of which I already knew a lot of the things. I knew all the fundamental things that I needed to do, but I joined a course just to motivate me and keep me accountable and give me no reason not to do it. Dude, you spent how much money? It wasn't even that much. It was $1,000. You spent $1,000 and you're not going to implement this stuff? Come on. took me 2 weeks to get this job. From when I started applying, it was like 5 or 6 hours a day. 2 weeks. Versus 2 years. I just clicked, boom, totally different life. 2 weeks. It was a massive experience for me, and that again is, I think, what the law of attraction is all about. Is about just realizing that the dream life, and again, woo dream life, but really the life you want, or at least the direction you want to be going in life, it's a decision away. It's a step to the side. Like, it's not far away. It's a few weeks worth of effort. And, you know, of course, your results may vary. It might take you years. Like, I already had experience in the field. It was like everything lined up perfectly. I got lucky. But also, like, I was prepared. The stars just aligned that time. Sometimes that happens. Sometimes it doesn't. You don't know. But you won't know until you start taking the steps to see what's waiting for you out there. And if you just don't stop, A, you already won because you're walking the path, but B, eventually something's going to happen and things are going to get interesting. So the question is, like, what really happened for that change to occur? And I don't think there's really an answer to that, because it's such a deep internal switch that flips. I don't think there's any words that are possible for this transformation. I think it's a very holy, divine thing. I think this is the difference between the light and the dark, between God and the devil, between good and evil. It is so fundamental that it is beyond language. But part of the fun here is to at least attempt. So I would say it's a combination of two things. I was in pain, suffering for long enough that it's like, okay, it's time for me to do something differently. I've explored this realm of me not applying myself, not being on the ball, being okay with not being on the ball. And I'm done with it. I'm good with it. I now know for sure, even though I already knew, I now know in every which way why I don't want this anymore. Great. So I think I had enough clarity at this time too. This was around the time where I asked myself the question, if you don't hate yourself, then why do you do things that you know are harmful to you? And I just couldn't let that question I couldn't get it out of my head. And the answer to that is, okay, well, I do things that I know are harmful to me, so I must hate myself. Because why else would you knowingly do something that is harmful to you? Why else would you knowingly do something that's harmful to anybody unless you just hated them? Like, that's like a perfect usage of the word hate. That's the definition, or at least close to it. So yeah, and then I was like, I don't hate myself, so I'm not going to do anything that's harmful to me anymore. And I quit all these vices and so on and so forth. My life completely changed. But yeah, the back to the question is, what actually changed inside of me for all this to happen? And it was the combination of suffering and clarity. I had suffered enough, and I had a clear understanding of the truth of how to get out of it. And then I just started to live that way. I started to schedule my time. And it wasn't even necessarily scheduling my time. It was more like I had a calendar, and I put down what I needed to do that day for it to be considered a successful day. And I wasn't like strict on, I need to do it at this exact time. It was more like, did I do it? Yes or no? Yes, cool. Checked it off. If I didn't do it, fine. No judgment, no shame. There was like a whole month where I didn't even write anything down. But I was just like, cool, okay, I'm gonna keep this. Next month, I just went right back to it. It didn't faze me. And by doing that, this switch happened to me. And I think it's the same sort of switch that all different sorts of religions are talking about when they're saying, grow. Be of the spirit, not of the flesh. It's an inner evolution. Because nature will only get you to evolve to your adult form, like physically speaking, but if you want to do any more maturing after that, it's up to you. It's impossible to describe, but the best way to know if it's working or if it's happening is by looking at what you're doing and accounting for your time. So if you find yourself quitting your vices, if you find yourself doing those things that you always wanted to do, if you are noticing what you're doing with your time and you're investing in it, and you just don't want to give time to things that you know are bad for you or aren't good for you, you manage to overcome it through your like structured surroundings. That's a whole different video. And another way to tell is when you start doing the things that you know you should be doing to be the best version of yourself, to have that dream life, and you do them and it's just kind of mundane, like going to the mailbox to get the mail. You just do it. You know what to do and you do it, and it's no big deal. If you got there and there was no mail, you'd be like, all right, cool, no junk mail to sort through, no bills to pay. You know, it's not a big deal. Do the things you know you should do. Don't do the things you know you shouldn't do. Keep it simple. Your brain's gonna try to pull you back to the bullshit. Just ignore it. And if you can't ignore it, then spend a day indulging in it, and then it'll get boring, and then you just continue. And anytime you feel like you're falling off the path, just be aware of it, and then get back to it. And I think this is key here too, is clarity on what success is. Success is not when you get all the things you ever wanted. Success is a mindset. Success is the action. It's the journey. All those cliche things. It's so true. I am not successful because of what I get out of this channel. And you know that's true because you can see my subscriber count. You can see the view count. I'm not getting anything from this. It's costing me time. But really, I'm investing my time in it because that is what success is. So what if you do all these things and you don't succeed? The act of doing them themselves is success. This is exactly what I want to do with my time. There's no better form of success than that. Success is the path of success. It's called the path of success because it's a path. Not because, it's not the location of success. So, yeah, get on the path and don't get off, because you can go from a complete failure to a complete success in an instant. By definition. And that's what the law of attraction is all about. Just maintain your hope, maintain your curiosity, and follow what excites you. It's more than enough. So yeah, if you enjoy hearing about this sort of thing, traction, how to actually do the things you know you should do, how to not do the things you know you shouldn't, this is all I talk about. Yeah, subscribe, follow, whatever, like, comment. Like, let me know your thoughts on all this. Like, do you have any questions? Does anything not make sense? Does anything sound dumb? Was anything like mind-blowing, or this cause any sort of shift? Yeah, I want to know. We'll keep an eye out. Thanks.